Good afternoon, everyone. Mr. Kiley here with Martial Arts America, Team Navarre. Today's date is April 22nd. It is Wednesday. This is your second black belt training class of the week in accordance to the SI for the Little Dragons and the Junior Adult Beginners. Okay, so we have the entire dragon form completed. On Monday, we completed the entire junior form, and by that I just mean we showed the very ending part and kind of what that looks like and feels like. So we're going to kind of work more of the same today. Okay, hopefully you picked up your SI between today and Monday. If not, it's okay, but I would suggest picking it up sometime between today and next Monday because that is a bigger gap in time. You just want to make sure that stuff stays fresh in your brain at this point. Especially for the junior adults, it's very understandable if that second portion of the form is a little bit hard to understand and comprehend, if it's a little bit frustrating because there's a lot of things going on in it. You're not only trying to learn the individual movements and the combinations, but also how the stances go and which way you turn properly, and then going to the back where you're learning something there's a lot going on. Okay, so as tough as it is when you first learn something, the best way to get with it and the best way to get through it is to do it. It's just to do it enough times where you get a little more confident. It starts to slowly make more sense. So that's going to be our goal today, is to just work through that form, teach it a couple different ways because everybody learns differently, and try to see if we can make some progress. Okay, so start by just opening and closing your hand, getting a little more fluid with your weapon. Good. Other fun ways to practice, flipping it down are like this, where you just practice going from here, flipping it down, because that'll end up being that beginning part, right? So it's just the downward flip here. Good. You also do the outward flip like that, where you're here. That's also a really good way to wake up your wrist because it requires a lot of wrist muscle, of wrist pop. Good. That's a move I'll teach you probably soon, maybe today. Good. This one. Good. It's kind of tricky. Good. It may not work with some people. It depends on the size of your SI. Good. Here. There it goes. Okay, and then you have your combination, which is the punch, fan, strike, down block combination. Punch, fan, strike, down block combination. And try to make sure you're not just using your arm. I said I'm not going here. So my body's staying very still. I want you to get used to using your body too. So after I punch, when I go to do the fan block, I turn my body so I can open up the fan. And then when I pull my side of this side, I also rotate my body this way. Good, just to make it a little bit stronger, a little bit easier for my body to bend. So again, try to avoid just staying very statuesque and still. Try to use everything. Good. I saw that video of you working, Ethan. You did a great job, buddy. Proud of you guys for working at home. I really am. I know it's not easy, but I really like that you challenge yourself and you do your best. That's all I ask for. Okay, so we're going to work on the form now. So we're going to slide back a little bit. Good. Bow. And you go up. Very good. You step out. You pull down. Good. You pull the left hand. Right hand tightens up to your body. I step forward and I punch. Very good. And then you slide back. You'll hear the foot physically slide as you fan block out. As you pull it back, you turn your body back to where it was and you strike out flat with the ground. And then you down block in front of your knee. Good. Step forward. Punch. Turn. Fan, make sure your body sinks into that back leg, strike out, down block, step, punch, fold it, turn, fan, open your hips up, strike, down block, punch left, punch right, open them both up, cross them in front of your body. Good. Go ahead and as you pick this foot up to put it behind you, make sure this foot turns. So it turns. Set it back into Kimai, right? Legs and hands come up, they come down over your legs, up on your legs, right over your legs. From here, you make your X block. Good. You take your front foot, which is your left foot. You're going to slide it over. Good. Block up over your head. Hands come down. Step forward. Strike them out forward, nice and strong. And then I fold them. Double down block. Just the dragons. Okay, dragons, you're going to drop straight down. Punch left, punch right. Okay, juniors, instead of me mirroring you, we're going to now keep going the same way. So this is like you're behind me in class, and you're looking forward, see my back. Punch left, punch right. The form then goes to the left. I do a high block. I step out and do a chungle stance and pull it down. So my hand just does this arc and pulls down. Good. It should almost feel like if I was doing with no side, if I went from a high block to like an outside block. Good. Kind of like in star block set. Not sure my voice did there. So 1 to 2. Then I step forward and I punch. I turn and I fan. Strike out. And I down block. Step forward left side. Punch. Fan. Strike. Down block, step forward, punch, fan, strike, down block, punch left, punch right. So now we're going to turn over the left shoulder, so over your back shoulder. Good, you're going to turn and face and go that way. Now that means I have to get this leg, my back leg, all the way over here behind me. I have to pick it up and then put it back down. Now my body goes this way. I high block and I pull it down. Step forward, punch with the right hand, fan block, strike, down block. Step forward, punch, fold it, slide back as you fan, strike, down block. Step forward, punch, fan, strike, down block, punch, punch. So here comes that last part of the form that's really tricky. So what we're going to do, instead of having to learn this part while facing away from the camera and trying to look over your shoulder and figure out what's going on, we're just going to learn this part going this way towards the camera, and then we'll flip it around later. Okay, so first I want you to learn all the individual motions, just learn this set of techniques, and then we'll worry about the spin and which way this actually goes in the form at a later date. Okay, so what we're going to do, I want you to start facing this way, facing to the left. Put your right foot in the front. Okay, hands are in tight. You're going to open up your left hand. And what we're going to do with the spin is it's going to go towards the camera, but instead of me just picking my foot up and going this way, we're going to go the complete opposite way. So we're going to pick our left foot up. Good. We're going to spin around this way towards the camera. Okay, so the best kind of easiest way to do it is just to take your feet and shift them to the back wall. Good. So now I can actually look over my shoulder and see where I'm going. I can see the camera again. Then you're going to take your left foot, okay, the one in the back, you're going to lift it up and slide it around. Your right foot will just point that way. So you're in a fugal stance. Good. If you want to see the whole step done cleanly, it's here, and as I turn, and as I lift this foot, I will continue to turn and set this one down. So I'm in this fugal stance, good, going this way. Okay, my left hand is in open position, good, and I'm going to turn it over, thumb down. Good, I'm going to go behind to the right, around my head, without hitting myself, and then block down. Good, I'm going to fold it and put it across my chest and just hold it right here. Good, I'm going to take my right foot and step forward and do my punch with my right hand. And then I open up my right hand. Good, I'm going to take and slide my back foot underneath me for balance. So I turn and slide it underneath, kind of like we're doing that transition to fugal stance, because I'm in a fugal stance basically now. My right hand, good, that same kind of spin we did a second ago. It's going to go the other way now, around the left side, and strike. And all this motion is a way to build up power, because we have our fan block that comes this way, and there's power this way, but we have a hard time getting power from outside to inside. So to build the power, we go around the back, and then it comes through like that. Shuffle, and then I fold it back in and down block. Okay, so there's actually not a lot going on there move-wise. There's like 4 moves. It's really tricky to get there. Okay, so I go from here, you go around, down, fold, punch, 1, 2. So it's actually not a lot of movement. You guys have done way more than that to this point. Those are just really quirky moves that are kind of hard to learn at first. Okay, and so we're going to start the form over. Good, Dragons, hope you're ready to rock and roll. And again, Dragons, when we get to the junior part, you can either do it with us, because it's kind of replicating, doing some of the moves you've already done. So it's good extra practice. Okay, but if you don't want to learn that much yet, you don't have to. You can either do the form at your own time when we do there, or you can just kind of sit and watch and learn visually. Either one is fine. Okay, come back to here, bow, and present out. Very good. Pull down. Yeah, pull the left one. And good. Punch, fan, strike, down block, step, and really work on getting your body to move a little bit faster and more fluid. Make sure whichever hand you're not using is by your belt. It's not hanging down. Okay, it's tucked in by your belt. Pull your body back. As your hand comes back, your foot steps. As you land, your foot lands. Down block, step, strike. Good. So you're trying to avoid staying like this. Okay, what I really want you to focus on once you've gotten the combinations down is paying very close to your stances and then where your belt knot is facing. Good. So wherever your belt knot's facing, that's where your stance is facing. Good. If I want you, for your chungle stance, if I want your body to be forward, the knot of your belt should be going right towards the camera. If you look in your body sideways like this isn't that stance we need. It's got to stay wide. It's a front stance. Everything's going to the front. Okay, punch, fan, strike, down block, punch left, punch right. Now your front leg is going to step back into key-my stance. Make that X block. We'll do that here in a second. Turn. Notice my foot does not come back. It stays. This is really helpful if you have a line or a block or something you can kind of have a reference with. My foot just slides over. They stay very wide. So I can then turn, and now I'm back in that chungle stance. I'm being really good at my form. Step forward, strike the hands forward. Again, we're not coming way down when we strike. it stays about shoulder high. Down block. Good. Drop the back knee if you're a dragon. Dragons drop. Punch, punch. Good. Juniors, we're going a little faster this time. You're here, right? Punch, punch. To the left. High block. Step out, pull down in jungle stance. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Step. 1, 2, 3, 4. Step. 1, 2, 3, 4. Double punch. At the end of every 3-set combo is a double punch. Turn over your left shoulder. Another really easy way to make this step happen. You turn your feet to the back wall. You take your left foot and you just step back with it. And then you turn again. That's all we did. That's the full step right there. High block with your left hand. That's the front hand, the action hand. Pull down, step forward, punch, slide, fan, strike, down block, step, punch, center of the chest, fan, strike, down block, punch, fan, strike, down block, double punch, right? This is that really tricky part of the form. Again, so to do it, we're going to just keep going towards the mirror, just going to back up a little bit, face this way. Okay, from here, we just did the punch, punch, right? So you're going to step, step, slide. So now we're going, and now if you're good at spinning faster than that, you can practice it as long as you spin the correct way. You have to go over your left shoulder. You have to pick this foot up. Another way to think about it, I'm going to try to teach this multiple ways, not that I'm changing it. We end up in the same spot, but again, we all learn different ways. So another way to think about it, this is really helpful if you have a line or something on some marking on the ground where you can see that your feet are in the same line. What you're going to do is you're going to take your feet and turn them. I'm going to take this left foot and put it directly behind, not right behind, but on that same line as the other foot. I'm still heavy on this right leg. And then all you do from here is take this foot, you point it this way, take this foot, and turn it completely around. There's your stance. Okay, so we're still getting to the same spot, just a couple different ways. So it's here, turn, step, turn. You're leaning back. You're heavy on this back leg. Hand goes around and then just a strike down in front here. Fold it back in and just hide it to your chest. Step forward, punch with your right hand. Now I have to get my back foot underneath me. Good. So I turn, slide, and then just set my front foot out very lightly. Around, strike, shuffle forward, fold it, down block. And that's the rest of the form. And again, that part will go away from the mirror, but we'll get to that point next week. Well, I can do it this week. I just want to learn the movements and kind of stay coordinated first this week. We'll get that done next week. Okay. Now we've done this part, okay, several times, to the point where it's getting hopefully a little bit easier. Okay, but if it's not, we'll still break it down from week to week and just go over different ways of teaching it. Now, a cool way, students, one way to really lock these techniques in, especially something like this, okay, because it's really complicated movement at first. Once you get very comfortable with doing it, try to teach it to someone else. Try to teach it to maybe one of your siblings, or try older sibling, hopefully, or try to teach it to one of your mom or dad, and try to get to where because if you can walk somebody through it and kind of take their hands, take their side, and help them do it, or if they do it incorrectly, if you can fix it, good. One of the best ways to learn something is to teach. So especially with some of these trickier movements, once you get confident enough to learn it, good, then try to teach it to someone else by not just like saying it, not just doing it. You can't just go do that, right? You have to walk them through it. Put one on top. Good. Fold this to you. Push it down. Good. Fold it under. Wrap it to you. One hand's pushing, one hand's pulling. So you have to be able to talk yourself through it, trying to use very specific words like take the left one, take the right one, put the right one on top of the left one, fold the left one up. And you're using specific words because that not only does that help them learn it, but then that helps you remind yourself how to do it as you're going through it. That takes it from just being something your body knows how to do and turns into something your brain can now explain, which is super important and helpful. Here, good. So I have one up and down, one flat, laid on top, fold. Good. That's probably the simplest way to do it. Again, my left one is up and down. My right one is flat with the ground. I take the one that's flat and put it, like, they're kind of an X. You can see that here, but they're trying to flatten that X a little bit. Put this one on top. You put this one on top and you want to run it down the side until this part here, the yoke here, goes underneath this monochi, and then the one that's under pulls to me, and the one that's on top pushes away, like that. Here. You can also do it the opposite way. Good? So I can take it here, I can take it here, and I can go there. Boom. Either one works. You just want to make sure hands are moving in opposite directions, one on top, one on bottom. The ultimate goal being where we can do it with our eyes closed. or do it without looking at it. So eyes closed, but do it without looking at it. Good. Another way to do it is to run it here and flatten it and pull it out. So it's simply me taking one, putting one closer to me. Good. And I want to then run it in. Keep it folded, keep pushing. It's really important to be pushing and pulling, and then widen it back out like that. Good. And you can always start in closer. Good. And third way to do it, this one's up and down. So this one's here, and you just literally push through. Make sure this part doesn't go underneath here. It's got to go right there. Good. And then from there, the one that's on bottom, I just turn that away from me. The one that's in the middle, I pull it to me, and then I, again, spread it out. It'll make that happen. Good. A lot of different ways to make it happen. Come in nice and tight and bow. We're going to work the form this time. I'm not going to say anything. We're just going to do it together as a team, nice and strong. Ready? Good. Practice that real fast. Good. If you haven't done that already, you just turn your hands outwards. Keep it really tight. Good. Here with the webbing, and then just fold it down. Let gravity take over, and then you grab it. And then it's here. There's my double block. Make sure your double block isn't beside you. It's, I'm going to show you from the side. It's out in front of you. Good, because when we do this part, I want this also to be out in front of you. I don't want that to be beside you, just in case it slips, right? Okay, so it's here. Fold. Make them touch. Step out. Yeah. Good. Left. And stay with me. Ready? Make sure you turn that back foot. Strong stance. Stay sideways. Now. Land facing forwards. Down block. Just the dragons. Juniors ready? Good. So that's your entire form. We did a very good job with that. We're going to work on one more time. Again, last time focusing on a lot of the little things as we're going along, trying to just sharpen those things up. Okay, if you have the strikes down, make sure you have the combinations down. If you have the combinations down, try to work on, in the beginning we said if you have the combo down, you can just do it. If you're having trouble with the stances, you can just stay in this front stance, right? And you just do the whole thing from here. But as you get more confident using your side, start moving your body more. And make sure when you're changing stances, okay, your back foot stays where it is. All it does when you're doing the combo is it turns. All it does is pivot for you. Okay, your front foot is the one that moves. Good, and moves back. Okay, it turns, it slides over, it slides back, it turns again. It's kind of lock and key, all right? So last time together, bow, present up, pull back, step out, pull left, good, step punch right, nice. We'll fold it, kind of, again, that's just another sneaky little transition from there. Keep it tight, and then turn it to the outside, and it should just fall down and allow you to grab the suka, and then change it over. Turn the back foot, it's almost like you're in a bad kimai. Lean, feel your body on one leg. When you're in Fugel stance, you should be able to lift up this front leg without losing balance. Fan, turn it, strike out, down block, step forward, punch, turn, Turn your body. It's very important when you turn your body, this back foot turns too, to give you the balance to turn. Good. If you're unsure of what this, I'm not actually punching, as you can see there, after you finish your down block. Good. Everything we do has a push and a pull. So I'm creating this opposite motion because I know I'm going to punch with this hand next, right? I'm going to step and I'm going to punch to give it the max amount of power I can. I square it. I go from a down block. This is called squaring up your punch. So I square my punch up. I just pull the hand up, aiming where I'm going. My feet come together. Good. And then you step out. That's kind of putting like the black belt finishing touches on your form. Getting those little things right goes a long way. Okay. Again, not just plopping our body forward. Your stance, especially if you go from chungle stance to chungle stance, you do what's called a C-step or a crescent step. Okay, that just means that when you step, it doesn't go like this. Okay, when you step, it comes in and then it pushes out. That's why a lot of times you'll hear that, that sweeping sound. That's your leg sweeping forward and rolling around. What that does, that allows you to keep better balance when you're stepping. If I'm just landing and I'm stepping super hard and you can hear it and it claps onto the ground, that means you're leaning way too far forward. So what you should be is your leg comes in and it goes out. And I'm still in a strong stance. So notice it didn't stomp into the ground. It was boom, here, and still strong, right? Punch, fold, pivot, pull back to your hip, slide it over, fan block, good. Pivot the back foot, keep your balance, pull the hand in, make sure it rotates to the outside, step out and strike, pull your hand up. You just gotta go to a thumbs up position, there it goes, and then it down blocks, good. Punch left, punch right. Open them both up, cross. As you step back, try to stay low. So try not to get way up here. Good. Go from here, stay low. X block. It's great to look at it right now if you need to. Hands come in tight. Step back with your foot. Turn your feet forward. Block up over your head. Unlock them. Pull your elbows in. Step forward. Notice I did that C-step there. Double down block. Just the dragons. As I drop down, again, square my punch up. Punch left. Punch right. Just the juniors for right now. You'll finish your form there. Punch left. Punch right. And then you put them away. Nice and strong. Very good. Okay. So one more time. Feet together. And bow. So we have, again, your kind of checklist when you're practicing. And if you decide to find a day to practice that's not today, whether it's tomorrow or Friday or Saturday or Sunday, I would suggest doing that, of course, with your parents' permission, just to walk through your form again and make sure that whatever we did today is still locked in your brain. A lot of times it'll stay in there for a good 24 to 48 hours with a lot of confidence because it's very fresh on your mind. But if it gets all the way into Saturday and Sunday, then when we come back and practice again Monday, it might, we might be back at square one. So it's very important to add one more day of practice just to make sure it stays strong in your brain, and it's just a different environment. Because when we do it together, when we're doing it in class, then you can kind of follow along with me. You can fall back on what I'm doing just in case to help keep you safe. Use your safety net. When you're doing it by yourself and then there's nobody to follow, you have to just pull it from your brain and remember as much as you can remember. And sometimes we think we remember a lot more than we actually do in the beginning, because we're just so used to doing it with everybody else. We're used to doing it with me in class. So I would suggest at least once a week, walk through it by yourself and see what you remember, how much you remember in comparison to how much you do in class. If you do the whole thing with me in class, that's awesome. And if you go to do it by yourself, if you remember half the form, that's also fine. Your goal next time you do it by yourself is to do that first half and then a little bit more, just adding on almost move by move as you're going through your form to help us get to the end. Okay, feet together. And bow. Dragons, that's all for you guys today. Junior beginners, we have you guys coming up next. All right, so make sure you guys stay tuned. You are dismissed.